y'all, welcome back to my channel. I'm off today and it's absolutely gorgeous out here, and today's video is sponsored by FLATS because I woke up with either bad allergies or a cold and I've been sneezing and my nose is all stopped up. So FLATS, it's good for your nose. Check with your doctor to see if FLATS is right for you. And by Azolastine antihistamine nasal inhaler, which you can only get by prescription. Check with your doctor to see if it's right for you. This stuff is so bitter tasting, and my copay was $50 for this. It's the only nasal antihistamine on the market. The rest are just non-steroidal anti-inflammatories like FLATS. And the FLATS tastes like what bug spray would taste like. I mean, what do you say? So today I had my makeup artist do my makeup and my hair. My hairdresser did my hair. No, not really. I just put my wig on and slapped some makeup on. But maybe one day I will have these people working for me. So today's topic is going to be, well, it's called Antelope Flats Where Buffalo Roam. And this is going to be just kind of improv. I'm not going to read anything. I just kind of came up with this. So, the Antelope Flats are in Grand Teton National Park. And that is on the way from my house in Riverton to Jackson Hole, where I would go and visit my beloved sister who used to live there. And I just had all sorts of adventures coming and go, and I would go over there quite a lot. There are herds of buffalo out there, lots of them. Speaking of buffalo, when Dwayne and I lived up there, we went to Yellowstone Park quite frequently. And one time we were there, and a rule of thumb is if you see a bunch of cars stopped in Yellowstone, then you know you need to stop because there's been an animal sighting. So, but this time we didn't stop because of that. They had these, I think they're called mud pots, where they're like mud, lava type stuff, and the bubbles bloop out of it. It's just called like a mud pot. It was like a pot boiling with mud. So we started down the path to that, and all of a sudden, about not more than 20 feet away, I saw these legs. Big, brown, hairy legs. And it turned out to be a buffalo. Now, I was surprised to see a buffalo in the woods like that. I don't know much about buffalo, but usually we see them on the plains and of the flat areas instead of in the woods. But yeah, he was that close. So I said, Dwayne, don't move. There's a buffalo right there. So we gently turned around and went back to our car. So that was a little experience with the wild animals. So, Grand Teton National Park. What does Grand Teton mean? Actually, if you really want to know, it means big breasts, because I believe the name came from some settlers or somebody who went there and saw that the mountains were very big. And like some women have big mountains, they call these Grand Tetons. Grand meaning big, Teton meaning breast. So there you have your history lesson for today. What is my dog doing? Peanut, come here. So, whenever we had it was the first winter we moved there to Riverton. The family flew up there, my mom and stepfather and my kids, and then Tara and her husband and all their kids. We went to a condo in Jackson Hole and spent a week there. And I do appreciate Tara and John renting that for us. It was a fantastic trip. So walking around in the condo neighborhood, there was a moose. I guess a resident moose. It looked like an adolescent. So, me being the adrenaline junkie I like to push the envelope, and I got probably a little too close to it, but I'm still here, so it's all good. Bear with me as this is just improv. I have these thoughts I've written down, so I have to think about it as I go. So one day when I was off, I wanted to go walk my dog in a Jackson Hole condo neighborhood. Why? Because I can do it. And I wanted to go see if there was some more moose there. So I drove the 100 and something miles to Jackson Hole that day and just went back to the condo neighborhood and walked around. Never saw the moose, but anyway, there's a town I mentioned to y'all between Riverton and Jackson Hole. It's called Dubois, but in Louisiana, we would call it Dubois for our Cajun French pronunciation, but up there it's just plain Dubois. There is a really neat gas station / roadside attraction that has a huge jackalope that you can actually climb on and get on the saddle like you would a horse. Now, jackalope is a mythical creature that they talk about up there that's a cross between a antelope and a jackrabbit. So there you go, jackalope. Once when I was stopping, I usually stop there on my way to Jackson just to get a Coke or something, or just go inside and take a little rest. Excuse me, this cold or these allergies. So once there was a car that had pulled up beside me in the parking lot, and what do you know? One of my favorite creature in the whole world jumped into my car uninvited. Yes, folks, it was a dog. Oh, I just love it. And he didn't want to get out, and I forgot what his name was, but his owner told me, and I'm like, loved on him a little bit, so that was awesome. Speaking of dogs loving on you, I have to tell y'all this. There's a park near where I work here in Shreveport that it's a mile around, and I've done lots and lots of walking in that park over the years on my lunch break and later on with Peanut. Let me lean back here. And so backing up to the trail is this fence, all these homes, and one of them is home to Atlas and Lily. Atlas and Lily are, Atlas is a big pit bull, and Lily is a little mutt. And, me being the dog lover that I am, I had to befriend them. It was absolutely necessary for my well-being. So eventually I started whistling like this. And they got to know that was my whistle. They got to know my voice. And here comes Peanut running. No, nothing for you. So every time I walk, they come running, and Atlas is woof, woof, woof. I mean, he is extremely intimidating looking, but he comes right up to me. His ears are flattened in a, relaxed gesture. His tail's wagging, and he's woofing a little bit more, but he just loves to come see me. Well, fast forward to this past week. I hadn't been out there in a long time because I don't walk in there in the park if it's too hot, and y'all know how Louisiana summers are. I didn't want to be all sweaty to go back to work. So I just started going back. And the first time I went, would you believe those two snobs barked at me? Lily just ignored me. I mean, she didn't even turn her head. I don't know who got to them, but somebody has, and it's really got my feelings hurt. And then Atlas just woof, woof, just barks at me and does not come, and they're not chained up. I don't get it. So I went around again, mile 2, and Atlas finally came up, and so did Lily. They remembered me in their doggy brains. And then I went yesterday, and I went around twice. Those ridiculous dogs would not come see me. They have no idea what they're missing out on. I don't know why they don't like me anymore. Only dog people will understand this. I get offended and highly upset if that dog doesn't like me. Ask my sister-in-law, Tammy. They have a dog for their kids, and it's a family dog, and that dog would not let me pet him for at least a year after they got him, and he's still wary of me. I don't know. I just don't understand. And then the only time I've ever gotten attacked or charged at by a dog, because I approach all dogs. And it was a basset hound in our neighborhood, a basset hound hanging low to the ground, and he chased after me, barking, wanting to bite me. That I didn't get over that for several weeks. That was crushing. So, anyway, let's see. Oh, one of Dwayne and mine's favorite fishing hole is right after Togety Pass, which is a beautiful mountain pass between DuBois and Jackson Hole. So, where was I going with that? Oh yeah, favorite fishing hole. These days, it's something else with my brain. Like I might be at work calling on a certain nursing home to ask a question, and sometimes when they answer, I have forgotten who I'm calling and what I'm calling for. And sometimes when Dwayne and I are talking, and he answers a question, I'll say, "Wait, what was I just saying to you?" It's real. I mean, both my grandmothers had Alzheimer's, so I don't know what's going on. I think it's probably just middle age forgetfulness. But anyway, back to the fishing hole. It's just an absolutely beautiful small pond, and it has trout in it, which is not our favorite fish, but we really didn't ever catch any. I think we caught one there. But we brought Peanut one time, Peanut the Wonder Mutt, and she had to jump in to try to get our bobber. So, yeah, we didn't take her again. There were definitely bears around there. One time when we were driving through and we pulled up in the parking lot in front of the pond, there was a bear just wandering through the parking lot. So we just sat there and watched him, which was one of our famous favorite pastimes, is wild animal watching while living up there. So let's see. Oh, okay. Now we turn our attention to the National Elk Refuge. It is a valley in Jackson Hole where it is, like it says, an elk refuge. The elk come down every winter and they winter there, and then in the summer they go back up high. And it's just amazing. They have these sleigh rides in the wintertime out there. And the time that we went, there was no snow, so we were having a sleigh ride in the grass. So whatever, it was still neat. Let's see. I want to tell you a little bit about my sister, who is a fabulous pediatrician. Those people love her. Her patients and those mothers love her. They call her Dr. Tara. And she has been a great advisor for me in this new journey of recording videos and writing blogs. She kind of was the one that rekindled the fire for me to do this. So thank you, sister. So they had a private practice in Riverton, and whenever she moved to Jackson Hole, there were lots of parents who would still drive their kids from Riverton to Jackson Hole just to see Dr. Tara. And then when she moved away from Jackson Hole, some of those parents offered to give her a place to stay to come and see their children like once a month or something. I think that was right. I can't remember the exact details, but yeah, there was one story she told me about that just amazes me. A mother had come to her with a child who had a rash, and she had been to several doctors and nobody could figure out what the rash was coming from. So Tara said, "Pick up your baby, step back and let me look at something." So they picked up the baby, which naturally was going to be the usual position that, let me take these glasses off, usual position, that the parent would usually hold the child. So she looked, and then she said, "I know what the rash is from." She said, "It's a contact rash. It's the way you hold the baby." And sure enough, that was it. So if I had young kids, I would definitely take them to Dr. Tara. She's obsessed with the British royal family. I don't know why. I mean, she says her dead dog is over in London having lunch with the Queen. I mean, there you go. But actually, I need these glasses on. She said that she applied to be the royal pediatrician 2 times, and they still have not gotten back with her. Can you believe that? I mean, come on, Kate. You don't know what a good pediatrician is until you've met my sister, so it's your loss. Yeah, that was kind of random and in left field. So, oh, here's another adventure. So the first time I came to the Wind River Canyon in Wyoming, it's actually like a 30-minute, maybe not even a 30-minute drive. Ooh, my nose, I gotta sneeze. Okay. It took me 2 hours to drive through there. I was alone, it was before Dwayne moved up there, and I was just in awe of the beauty. I mean, 2 hours. And then, I took little dirt roads. There was a few that went off the road, and there was one there's a dam there. Is it a dam? No, it's just yeah, it is a dam, I think. Anyway, so I drove down that dirt road, and it came to the side of a mountain, and I was afraid I was going to get stuck in my little, what did I used to have? Ford Escape. So I had to turn around, but I barely had any room to turn around. So, yeah, my husband after that, he said, it's a good thing I may need to up your life insurance. It's a good thing I have it on you. Let me tell you about another time in Wyoming that he said that. So, I worked at Kmart Pharmacy, and unfortunately, the retail stores there have the highest per capita shoplifting rate of all the, I guess all the Walmarts and Kmarts of the nation, which there are no more Kmarts in the nation now. But it's just, and I have never, seen a shoplifter, and so my text said, there's such and such out there, and she's got a purse, and she's putting stuff in it, and I said, oh no, not while I'm here. So I marched out there in my white coat, and I confronted her and said, Miss such and such, I need to see what's in that bag, please. And she said, no, you can't see. I said, okay, we'll walk up to the customer service counter. So we walked up there, and then we got to the foyer, and she took off running. And I didn't have time to think. It was just pure impulse. I yelled, thief! And then I took off out the door, my white coat flapping in the wind behind me, chasing this woman to her car. I really didn't have any fear that she may have a knife or turn around and knife me or whatever. I went to her car, and I got the stuff back. So I brought it back to my boss, and you know who you are, Bruce, if you're watching this. I recovered about, I think, $200 worth of merchandise, but I did not know that I was not supposed to confront shoplifters. Nobody ever told me. So, yeah, he said, thanks for getting that, but don't ever do that again. We're not supposed to, you could have gotten hurt. So, that was that was very interesting. There was one time where I really feared that a customer was going to come back with a gun. People bring in C2 prescriptions, Percocet, Norco, all that, and they try to get them filled early. And we have this wonderful tool called PMP, our prescription monitoring program, whereas a pharmacist or provider, nurse, doctor, nurse practitioner, can look up and see the narcotic history of a patient, when they got it, how much, did they pay cash or insurance. It's a little intrusion into your privacy, but yet I think it's a good tool. And so I checked on PMP, and I looked at the profile, and it was too early to fill. So I wrote on the hard copy, fill such and such date on the, at this pharmacy, do not fill until, or not due until this. And, that basically ruins it for the person who's drug seeking. And they got so mad at me. I mean, they said they were going to be back, and I was really scared. But luckily nothing ever happened. So we also had this notebook there of fired patients. Yes, a pharmacy can fire a patient. If you try to come in there and lie to us, or try to pull the wool over our eyes usually it's about controlled substances, or if you're belligerent or rude to any of the pharmacy workers, we're going to fire you. I don't know if the big retailers do that now, but this was a small, Kmart in a small town, and I wasn't going to stand for it. So we would tell them why, don't ever come back. And I had told that lady who was shoplifting, never to come back to our pharmacy. So she already knew who I was, and she was like, "Why are you picking on me?" I said, "I'm not. I'm just trying to do the right thing." So I guess let me see if there's anything else I was going to talk about. Oh, I guess that's it. So hope y'all are having a good post-election day. We still don't know anything, so it'll be interesting in the next few weeks to find out if, for the first time in election history, we've had to postpone knowing who's the president. We usually know that night of, so, whatever. But y'all have a good day.